Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? I am on my first solo venture. Everyone in this house is actually either in bed or in the process of going to bed. This probably won't be very long today because of the time here is 9 p.m. and we will have to wrap it up because I do have an early morning tomorrow. Meeting a friend. And let's just talk about the weekend and last week. And it was hard for me. It was very hard. Food didn't go as well as I had hoped it would. I did get in some walks. It just feels like right now it's just one thing after another and one thing after another and one thing after another. And I know all of you have had days like that. And so, this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take that time for myself and just kind of give myself a little space to actually mourn the loss of my job. Initially, when everybody was contacting me and talking to me and everything, and then it felt really, really good for all my coworkers to contact me. And then this week, talking to some of my coworkers made me feel sad and made me miss that I wasn't there and couldn't be part of the conversation and everything going off, because I've been friends with these guys for, almost 18 years. So it made it really hard, and I was one of two things. I either was not hungry at all or couldn't get enough to eat. It was just really, really, really bad. All right, starting to see some comments coming in, and looks like we got lots of folks here from all over. Angela's here, Ms. Crab is here, Carol, Lee, Jennifer, Lisa, great to see you guys. Hoping that this Thursday is going to go off without a hitch if you're available. We probably won't be doing anything about Max until the end of the week or beginning of next week. And for those of you who don't know, Max has been having more bad days than good days. He is 13 and a half years old, and he's winding down. He's in his twilight. And today we actually spoke with an animal communicator who helped us decide where we were at and where he was at. And so we've got a plan. There's a plan in place. It helps us not be so sad because we know we have some things we need to do with him this week. He's a tough guy and he's in a lot of pain, but he wants to go. And so we're trying to not let him run the wheels off of himself, but we're going to kind of do his bidding for the rest of this week for sure. Let's see. Who else we got? Jane is here from Northern California. Tanya. Diane. Linda. Lydia. All right. Lots of people. Azaria. What a beautiful name. Lydia. Anne. Let's see. I think I've got Leanna. Kelly. And Kathy's here. She's chiming in from bed. So, I wish she wouldn't have gone to bed earlier because, y'all, she got some new glasses and they are so cool. I really like her new glasses. They look really, really good on her face, and of course they are purple. So everybody will get to see those shortly, but they're pretty nice, I guess. One of the benefits of having to rush and do all our appointments is we both get new glasses really fast and all that good stuff. Let's see. Last week was like doctor appointment after doctor appointment after doctor appointment. On Thursday last week, I had 4 doctor's appointments in one day. I mean, from sunup till night, I was going to doctor's appointments, and it was crazy because I would, like, one was all the way over here, almost in Raleigh, and then another one was all the way over here in Chapel Hill. I mean, I was just all over the place. And, you know, I had just enough time in between each of those to just get there right when I had to be there and not be late. So it was kind of chaotic. It kind of added to everything that was going on with me. And, you know, and then the Max thing on top of everything, very stressed out. I am getting a stress test this Thursday. I will keep everybody informed on how that goes, but just out of caution, it's something that I normally would have had done at my next 6-month appointment because it'll be 5 years since the last one I had done. But this time we're going to do a nuclear test instead of just a treadmill test. I'm a little nervous about it, so if anyone's had one and can kind of give me an idea, like I don't like the whole idea of having an IV. I don't like needles. I have a really hard time with that, but you know, I'm going to buck it up and do it so that I can make sure that my health's going good, because I do have some hereditary issues when it comes around the heart health stuff. Now let's see what we. Adriana says she's sorry to hear about Max. Yeah, he's a good boy. Tanya, I've had a horrible week too. Was not feeling well, and I ate all naughty things all day long. Right? Doesn't that happen when we do not feel well or we're stressed out and things like that? And the thing is, you know, that is, you're not a failure. It doesn't mean that your journey is over. I know many of you have heard the story from me time and time again about how I quit smoking. And I would quit smoking every Monday. Every Monday, I'd say, I'm done smoking. I'd go as long as I could that week without smoking. And I always would end up failing at some point. Well, I'm not going to say the word failing because I wasn't failing, but I would end up having a cigarette at some point throughout that week. And then next Monday would roll around, and I'd say, quitting smoking this week. And I did that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then suddenly, one Monday, it just stuck. And I kind of didn't even like notice it myself. All I remember was, it was like 2 weeks later, maybe 3, that somebody mentioned it to me at work. Kathy didn't say a word. You know, if you ask her about it, she'll probably tell you that she didn't want to say anything because she didn't want to trigger me into anything. But yeah, it was something that I wanted to do for me, something that I wanted to do for her, for our future. And I just kept trying every Monday. And one Monday it stuck. And that was over, well, I would say almost 20 years ago now, getting close to it. Yeah, well, 19 years ago, I guess. But that, like I said, if you try every Monday, eventually it sticks. And that's what I'm going to be doing this week. And Tanya, I recommend, you know, that you just take it one day at a time. Take it one meal at a time. And if, you know, eating better is your goal, then for your next meal, focus on that and try to eat better. And once that one's down, then focus on the next one. You don't have to focus on the whole week at the time. Let's just take one meal at a time. Just like when we are trying to move more, right? If you haven't moved in years and years and you're like, oh, I can't go take a walk, that's just too much, I can't even get out of the house, all I can do is sit here in the house. Well, you can walk to the mailbox. And every day this week, try to walk to the mailbox and then back into the house. And then as the week goes on, as you walk to the mailbox, think about, could I go a little bit further than the mailbox? And Maybe you take steps to your neighbor's mailbox, and then you turn around and you come home. And just do that every day. Every day is different. Every day you may feel different. And just take those baby steps and take every day individually, and you will be successful. And I will be successful. We will all be successful. I know that this week is still going to be a little trying, but I am going to focus. My next meal is going to be a good meal for me. I'm not going to hit junk. I'm not going to do anything, look for sugar, do any of those things that I've been doing. I don't know if I mentioned in the newsletter or not, but one of the things that I did was I bought some cotton candy grapes this week. And those cotton candy grapes will be sweet enough to keep me away from anything else and kind of give me that little dopamine hit that I'm going to be kind of looking for. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, it is, Azaria, it is a tough decision. And it's, you know, he's been around for a long time. If you guys are interested to hear more about the dog communicator, I am happy to share that information. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of a talk about how that was. Let's see. Adriana knows how hard it can be. Had to say goodbye to their 17-year-old named Fluffy. I'm sorry that Fluffy has passed. Lisa is dealing with a similar situation with her 14-and-a-half-year-old dog. It's so hard that they can't, I'm going to say can't tell us what they need. However, dog communicator was kind of interesting and kind of gave us the information that we needed from Max so that we knew what he wanted to do. And I was skeptical. But there were some things that were said in that conversation that no one could have possibly known except Max. So it was a new experience for me, and I'm not sad that we did it. At first, I was like, this is dumb, but nope, not sorry that we did it at all. Let's see. Lydia says, I'm sorry about Max. Thank you, Kelly. We are all hanging in there. Lisa's. All right. Kathy says, we can debut our new glasses together. I have got glasses coming as well, and they are going to be completely out of character for me. Like, I mean, absolutely out of character for me. You guys are just going to fall out when you see them. Like, I was like, I don't know. I don't think I can pull this off. But then everybody at the optometrist's office was like, those are awesome. Those are great. So I fell to peer pressure, and I will have my new artsy cool glasses soon, probably in the next couple days or so. So we'll make sure that we come and debut those together for you. All right, Carol says, we lost our fur baby last year, 15 years old. It is so sad, but we gave her a good life, so that's the good part. And that's really what it all boils down to. You know, Max came from the Wake County Animal Control Center. I forget the exact name of it, but we're pretty sure that if we wouldn't have adopted Max, that Max probably would have never made it out of there. He hasn't always been an easy dog. There have been times when, like, he just made us want to pull our hair out. He's been on 2 Prozac a day for most of his life. He is the most neurotic little bunny that you will ever see in your life. And but he's our neurotic little bunny. And we've made concessions in our life for him. And, you know, we would do it again in a heartbeat just to make sure that he was able to get a full life. And we feel like that we have done that. And so we will all be able to move on together. And we will miss him. We will definitely miss him. That's for sure. Let's see. Angela says she had Reiki done on a cat long distance and it worked. She was incredibly agitated, and after the session she was calm. It was wonderful to see. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that they could do Reiki on animals, so that's very interesting too. So wow, that's cool. Vegan Knowledge is here. Hello, good to see you, good to see you. Everybody's chatting in the chat with Kathy. All right. All right. And Kathy says she's just came on for a quick minute to say hi and that she appreciates me doing the check-ins, and thank you. I appreciate you coming to listen and to hear what I have to say. I'm still very new at this by myself. I don't have all my confidence yet, but it's getting better and better. I worry about the flow too much. I think I let it get into my head about trying to keep up with the comments and then trying to carry on conversation as well. And it's a learning curve, and I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. Hello, Diana. It's good to see you tonight. Yes, Adriana, let me tell you, that was exhausting, and then I slept really, really hard that night. The thing that got me is the fact that, I thought, okay, I just got to get through these, and then I'm done. And then I can breathe a little bit until we get our whole healthcare situation worked out. And then now I have this other test from that. Kathy has another doctor's appointment to go over her test results and things with the doctor later this week. I mean, so it's like the never-ending doctor visits, which is really, really weird for us. But I am thankful and I am grateful that all of our medical professionals were able to rearrange things to see us, to make sure that we got in before my insurance is up, which is going to be very, very helpful because we're going to go into another plan. There probably won't be any gap for us, but in case we didn't know for sure how things were going to work, and so we just wanted to make sure we got everything we could, that we got all our medicines, got it, our prescriptions all filled and everything, just in case we needed them and we needed to make other plans. And Jennifer, I think it might have been you. I want to reach out to you if it's okay, and ask you some questions about the healthcare stuff. I think that you had mentioned that you had some experience with navigating that, and I would be interested to hear how your experience was with that. Let's see. Vegana has had a nuclear stress test. Awesome. Hi, Jill. It's good to see you. All right. And Linda says that she's so sorry to hear this about Max. Hugs. Thank you. Appreciate it. She has 3 very old cats, 19 plus, and 2 17 plus. Wow. Yes, definitely you can relate. And it's a hard thing. It is. We love them so much. They're like our children, and it's kind of hard. All right, Vegana says, I've had a nuclear stress test. It's not bad at all on a treadmill until you have to stop, like a standard stress test, but with the nuclear piece. Someone's right there with you. You'll be fine. Great. Thank you for that. You always get nervous because you're like, I don't know what to expect with this test. I'm going to be there by myself because Kathy has another test or another appointment at the same time, all the way across the county someplace else. And so I was really nervous about going by myself. And I'm still nervous about having stuff put in my veins. I'm still really nervous about that. So I'm a chicken with needles. I'm just going to say it. I'm a big chicken with needles. So hard to believe from somebody who's a diabetic, but I am a big chicken with needles. So I would like to avoid that. Let's see, JNo99, hello from Michigan. Hello. What are we talking about? We are talking about the week that I had, with all the doctor's appointments that I had to go to. I did 4 in one day on Thursday last week, and it was quite tiring. And from that, I have another appointment that I have this week for a stress test, and we've been talking about our dog Max, who is 13 and a half years old, and Max is having more bad days than good days. His strength in his back legs are starting to fail. He's in pain most of the time. He's on gabapentin twice a day. We are managing things, but we did have a conversation with an animal communicator that has kind of helped us, make a plan so that we know what we need to do going forward for the next week or so. So that is what we are planning. And with all of that going on, I did not stick to my goals last week like I had chose to, and did not. And it was hard because with everything going on, with all the stress and everything coming at me, this is that moment that I think Stacy always talks about, where it's like, something's going to happen that's out of your control that's going to throw you off, right? And this is it for me. This has been now going on. This will be my second full week of not being employed at my previous company anymore. And it's a lot, and it's a lot to navigate after 17 and a half years. So naturally, I am floundering around like any human being would. I don't know anybody who would just be like, bam, 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 except probably Jennifer. Jennifer would just be like, she'd have that planned out. Y'all, Jennifer is the most organized person that I've ever met in my life. She would probably have that just like bam, bam, bam. But it totally threw me for a loop, and caused me to just miss out on doing a lot of my goal stuff. But enough about me. Everybody knows I'm stressed to no end, and everybody knows that everything just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting, and I'm like, this week's going to be better. And I feel like it is going to be better this week. I'm going to take it one meal at a time, like I said. But I want to hear from you. And, did you hit your goals last week? Did you have a little bit of trouble? Is there something that maybe I can kind of help you with? Or is there maybe some advice that you want or something like that? I'm not very good at advice, but I can tell you my own experience kind of things. And we can kind of go from there. I know there was somebody that cleaned out a refrigerator last week, and y'all, she sent me pictures of the refrigerator cleaned out. It was amazing. I was so happy to see those, and she did such a great job on that refrigerator. And she had room, and she had everything like organized so that she would have room for all the stuff that she was pre-making to put in the refrigerator and prepping for the week. And so she was very successful with her stuff last week, and I'm very proud of her. And let's see, who else we got here? All right, and Tanya says, that's how I quit too. After 17 years, I was just done with it. Don't miss it one bit. And that was in 2007. And yeah, and Tanya's talking about when we were talking about quitting smoking. I told a story about how when I quit smoking, I quit every Monday until it finally took. And I feel like you can apply that to anything. Just because you don't hit everything 100% doesn't mean you're just done. Well, I can't do it anymore. Well, that's not true. You can do it. You just need to start over again. And that's why we're kind of calling these Monday resets, so we can reflect back on the week that we had, kind of analyze, why did that not go so well? And then we can each figure out You know, what can I do a little bit better? And maybe from listening to somebody else, you'll get some ideas. Let's see, what else we got? Everybody is saying hi. Claire's here, so pleased to see me. I'm glad that we distress you. That's awesome. I am so glad. Like, y'all, I was a customer service person. I mean, IT support, you're basically customer service. And that was my life. My life was giving to people and helping people. And I just want to continue doing that. And just being able to reach out to you and share my feelings is really helping me as well. And like I said before, we're going to get through this together. We're going to get through our stress together. We're going to hit our goals together. And, you know, we may stumble, but every Monday we're going to reset and we're going to get it done. All right, Ms. Kraft says, loving your wisdom, Cheryl. I'm not so sure how wisdomy it is. Wisdomy. Is that even a word? Wisdomy? Wise, I guess. But it's just, you know, I've been around a few times. I've kind of tried a lot of stuff. And I feel like the benefit of what I have done, the things that I've gone through in my life, the things that I have attempted in the past that didn't work, and the thing that is working for me and that has been working for me is the starch solution. It's the first thing that just like clicked and made sense for me. And even if you're not in the starch solution and you're just whole food plant-based, no oil, or, you know, SOS, sofas, whatever you do, we're kind of all in this together. We kind of all have the same common goal, right? We want to eat healthier so that we can be healthier. And honestly, to me, that is my main goal. I want to be healthier. And weight loss just happens to be a great side effect of that for me. And so it keeps me motivated to keep going, even though I'm just like on the trickle down right now. I'm hoping that I can kick that into high gear again as the winter gets here, because I'll want to be outside a lot, because I like the fall and I like the winter to be outside a lot. And if anybody's asking, I did not get to go kayaking. It was just the stress of everything going on and time, and there's not enough time in the day to do all the things that I need to do. And I'm like, I'm not working my full-time job. How can I still not have time in the day to get everything done? But it's just, there's a lot of things that I have to organize and get done and ready, and I just keep chugging along on those. Plus, I've been helping Kathy some. She's working on the book. You can't see it, but in front of me, there are jars and jars of spice blends and powdery things where she is taking pictures and stuff for the new book that'll be coming out mid-October, I think. It's either mid-October or a Halloween release. I can't remember which, but I'm going to say mid-October probably. All right. And Aziria is asking, what newsletter? How do I sign up? Somewhere in the show notes, there should be something to sign up for Kathy Hester's newsletter. Right now, I'm just kind of piggybacking on her stuff, so till I can get all my stuff in place. So if you sign up on Kathy Hester's email list, and I think if you sign up, you also get like a printout with some spice blends. If you sign up for that, then you will get the newsletters that when they go out. We're really trying to ramp those up, and hopefully we'll have more than maybe several a week, if not every day, if we can get to that point. So that would be great. Okay, Lisa would love to hear more about the dog communicator. Jennifer is also interested in hearing about the animal communicator. Wow, everybody wants to know about the animal communicator. All right, so the animal communicator, at first I was like, this is a bunch of bunk, right? because you guys know me, I'm just like, whatever. I don't believe it. I don't like the touchy-feely woo-woo stuff. And so I was like, I just don't know. So our friend Claire, who Kathy has known since she was 17 years old, I guess. They're more like family than friends. They're, depending on the situation, they're mom and dad or brother and sister. Just depends, how we need them. And we love having them in our lives, and they're very helpful. But Claire is a dog trainer, a very good dog trainer. She doesn't just train the dog, she trains the people. In fact, I think sometimes more she trains the people than she does the dog. It all works out well. But she owns Yay Dog in the Raleigh-Durham area. So if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area and you would like some help with a pooch, Yay Dog, I highly recommend. And I don't think she's still the president. She was the president last year. I don't know if she is still or not, but NADOI, who is one of the National Association of Dog Obedience Trainer things or something, she was the president of that last year. So she made a lot of contacts, and one of these contacts is from Michigan, and she is an animal communicator that she highly recommended, and she has also used. And so she thought it would be a good idea because we were having such a hard time, and I had emailed her and said, I don't know what to do. I look at him, but he doesn't look old, right? Because he's white, and you don't see the old on him, but you see it in his hindquarters and how his little legs shake in the back and stuff when he's standing up, because it really quickly, it just happened so quickly. It felt like that he went from walking 3 to 5 miles with us to barely being able to go a half a mile to now we go across the street and make what I call the poop run or adventure poops. He loves it when you call it adventure poops. And then, it happens so fast. And I know everybody's like, I didn't see it coming kind of thing. So we contacted the dog communicator, and she made arrangements for us to talk to her this morning. We talked to her for an hour. Basically, she just asked us some information about Max as far as his breed, his color, and his age. And then she had us beforehand make a list of questions that we wanted to ask Max. And we were also able in that hour to ask about other animals, and also if we wanted to ask about any animals that had already previously passed. So we had a list of questions for Max, and we had a list of questions for Fergus, because we figure while we're there, we might as well see what Fergus is up to. And it was uncanny how accurate she was about the things that Max had said to her in answer to some of our questions. And we left a lot of open-ended questions too, and they were pretty darn accurate, which at first I was like, wait a minute. And then as it went on and we asked more questions, and then there was one thing that he said in relation to walking, because I wanted to know, are you still able to actually do these walks, or are you in a tremendous amount of pain? And he basically said he was in pain. However, he wanted to go till the wheels fell off. That he was tough, he was going to tough it out, and he was going to go till the wheels fell off. And that is exactly how Max is. Like, he doesn't care if it hurts. Like, he's going to push through, and he's going to do whatever. And, he limps. Like, by the time we get across the street, he's already limping. But he just wants to keep going. And it hurts me because he's panting and everything. And I'll be, come on, let's go home. Let's go home. We've been far enough. And he's like, I want to keep going. And I'm like, okay. So then the past 2 days. I've let him go as far as he wants. He actually went 2 miles yesterday. And I was afraid that that really hurt him, but then the animal communicator let us know that that is what he wants. He wants us to just let him go as far as he can and then just walk very slowly home with him. He also wanted to eat junk food, which I'm like, well, yeah, at your age you can have whatever you want. But it was very interesting, and then we would ask him questions about, had we done everything okay and right, and and the answers were all things that we needed to hear. Getting the plan together and the time frame for his passing on was very helpful. Fergus, on the other hand, is a brat, but we knew that. He just wants to be in charge. He and Max actually have this, you've always heard us talk about the strange relationship that they have. Well, this woman actually talked to us about that strange relationship that they had, and that's kind of when I was really floored. Is because, like, I don't know how she could know about those things, like just the way that they interact with each other and popping Max on the butt and stuff, and just having their spaces, and it was very interesting how they both, and they do have like a sibling type rivalry kind of thing, but it was interesting, and neither one of them wanted to talk about, going past this moment that we're in right now, and neither one of them wanted things to be any different. Basically, they both said, quit making a big deal out of this and treating Max like an invalid, because he's not an invalid. He's just old and that towards the end of his life, and he wants things to just be the same this week. He wants us to get up and just do everything normal and not make it weird. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to let him walk until the wheels fall off, if that's what he would like to do. And yes, we broke down and got him the treats that he said he wanted. So, and he hasn't been eating well. We have to bribe him to eat sometimes. He'll go for days and he won't eat, and then the next day he'll just, like, I guess out of just sheer hunger, just like consume everything in sight. But this past weekend was hard, because one of the things that he used to really, really love back before I started eating vegan, I would take Max for a ride and we would go to McDonald's and he would get nuggies. And then even after I went vegan, even in, like, during the pandemic and stuff, Max and I would go for a ride and we would get chicken nuggies for him. And he was just, like, so excited. Like, as soon as we pulled into the parking lot, he knew where we were. As soon as we got up to the order thing in the drive-thru, he'd be hanging his head out, like, trying to make the order himself kind of thing. And he'd be so excited, so excited. And then he'd be all up in the middle of the, between the two front seats, just, like, looking in, like, are you making my stuff? He just so excited, and his tail be wagging all over the place, and he'd just be like, nuggy, 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 nuggy. And this weekend we thought, let's take him for a ride. We'll go do adventure poops somewhere, because he always liked going for a ride doing adventure poops. And sometimes it's hard to get him back in the car once you get him out. And then we would get him some nuggies, because we hadn't let him have nuggies in a while, because we felt like, they were really messing with his stomach and stuff. So we were like, okay, we'll let him have nuggies this weekend. And we got to McDonald's, and he was in the back seat. And he just kind of, like, was looking around. He wasn't excited. Not at all. We ordered the nuggies. I gave him a nuggie. He put it in his mouth, and he put it down on the seat. And then he didn't ask for any more. He didn't eat that one. And that was kind of what sewed it up for me. He hasn't played with toys, which he used to love to do, for like 2 months. And the eating has been hard, getting him to eat stuff. And when he didn't want to do the nuggies, that was a sign. But then when we went on the ride and then I let him out of the car to go sniff around and go to the bathroom, he peed and then he was ready to get right back in the car. And that's just not like him. It was like completely out of character for him. Usually he's just like, let's go, let's go, let's go, you know. But he was ready to get back in the car. He was ready to go home. He had had enough. And so I was like, yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close. And, you know, we asked him some questions about that. You know, what's the deal with the nuggies, man? You used to love the nuggies. And he was just like, yeah, my stomach gets too upset for them. And, you know, he said he just can't handle food, a lot of foods right now because they upset his stomach. And so that's where we are. We have a plan. We're going to do exactly what he wants for his last days. He wants a party. He wants every day to be a party about him. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to let him have whatever he wants. So it was very interesting speaking to her about that. And she did everything over the phone. And she was even able to describe for Fergus. We asked Fergus what his favorite cat tree in the house was. And without knowing if we had an upstairs or downstairs, because we hadn't talked about that in any question at all about anything, she said that he prefers the cat tree upstairs that's kind of the grayish green color with the wider platforms because he likes lounging on it. And that's the one right there. So, you know, all these things are just like blowing my mind. And we also asked Fergus how he would feel later down the road if he was interested in having a kitty sibling, or if he wanted to be an only cat. And he did describe that he would only want a female cat, and that he liked chunky girls. And I was just like, yes, this is my cat. So he said he wanted a girl. He liked this one cat that he met before he came here that was a stray that was kind of on the chunky side. He said he would like a cat, a friend that is brown, like brown tabby, but with white splotches on her feet and belly. So now we have a plan for that down the road. But I think he also suggested that after the animal communicator explained to him what fostering was, he said that he thought that would be a better idea for us to foster, because if she didn't fit in, she needed to go. So that doesn't surprise me that he would be like that either. So we found out that the big personalities that we thought that our animals had were accurate. So it was fun. And I would do it again. Like I said, at first I was really like skeptical about it, but it gave us so much peace of mind today that we were kind of on the right track, that we were doing the right thing. And, you know, I think we just needed to know that we were doing what he wanted. That it wasn't like, you know, you never know. Is it too early? Is it too late? When is it? And we both knew it was coming, and I think this just helped us get there. And I'm very grateful. And it was relatively inexpensive. I thought that this was going to they were going to charge us an arm and a leg, but no, it was relatively inexpensive. So I was very shocked and very pleased. And I am happy to recommend the Animal Communicator. If you would like the information for the Animal Communicator, just send me email at support@healthyslowcooking.com, and I can get that information to you. And she can do everything over the phone. She's really, really good. I truly impressed, and I felt very, very at ease with her right away, which I didn't expect to do. But Max had his wishes, and he's going to get them. See, and here's His Royal Highness. Hello, buddy. Please don't put your butt to people, okay? Let's not put our butt to people. You're being a cat. He's like, why are we not on the couch snuggling? It is my snuggle time, lady. All right, so Miss Crab says, we had a huge layoff at my company. There was so much anger and sadness, and I'm sorry you're going through it. The anger and then the sadness, it goes back and forth, and it's really, really hard. And Lisa's asking, can the communicator work remotely? Yes, she can. She is in Eastern time zone, and does all her hours based on Eastern time zone stuff. But she did all of our stuff remotely, so it was really, really good. Let's see. And some other folks asking about the communicator. So if there's any other questions that you would like to ask me about the dog communicator, or pet communicator, because she actually deals with cats, dogs, any kind of pet, just let me know in the chat, and I'll try to answer them for you. All right. Oh, Ozzy Ara. I'm sorry if I was saying it wrong. Ozzy Ara. I will remember that. Thank you very much for telling me your pronunciation, Ozzy Ara. All right. Yeah, Tanya is excited to see my new glasses now. You guys are gonna be like, I can't. It's just gonna be something totally different than what you're used to me doing, and so it should be fun. I'm trying to my new fun personality. Let's see, and Vegana says, I just got new glasses adjusted today. Costco glasses for me. Oh, Costco's a great place to get glasses. I actually had vision insurance through the company that I was with, and so we just wanted to make sure that we used that up before that was over with. All righty. Everybody's just talking amongst themselves, which is awesome. I love to see that. Let's see. Angela says, I had a neurotic little bunny myself, feline version. We love them anyhow and because of it. It's just a great part of their personalities. It's so great. All right. And Lisa says, the challenging dogs can be so worth it when they love you unconditionally. Mine came from the streets of India, so I know how good of a life he's had. Oh, wow. I didn't know your dog came from India. That's amazing. Wow. Yes. As you know, this little guy came to us. We did ask him a little bit about his backstory with the animal communicator today, and he informed us that he picked us because we smelled good, and basically because we didn't have any kids. He came from a house that had children, he says, and one of the kids was not nice to him at all and actually pulled his tail a lot and was mean to him and pulled his hair out, and one day they let him out and he said, I'm out of here. And then he started coming and hanging around us because he's such a good boy. He knew where the good treats were. Didn't you, buddy? Didn't you? All right. So he is a little muffin. All right. Yes, Max is much loved, Tanya, and he does feel that, and that was helpful for us as well. He also explained why he is so protective of us. So he really felt like he had to protect what we had as a family. So it made sense to us because, he He was very, very aggressive towards other animals, well, other dogs that weren't part of this house. Let's just say that. Let's see. And Adriana says, true, both of our dogs came from shelters or adoption agencies. Awesome. Aw, Lydia, I'm so glad that you all love Max. Max has been a good boy. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. I don't know if you've already had to head off to bed, because I know that 6:15 comes early for you, but appreciate you saying that I'm doing a great job. Because like I said, I'm learning, I'm getting better, I'm learning, but this is great. And Tanya is saying, don't worry about the flow. We just love your genuine, caring self and the organic conversation. I appreciate that. And thank you, Penny. Penny also saying, I'm doing great, so much better than I think I am, that you love me, and thanks for your encouraging me to get my fridge done last week. I did it. Yes, and thank you so much, Penny, for sending me those pictures, because that really made me feel good. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, I will reach out. I think that it just, I just need to get some of the questions off my head and the stress and stuff. All right. Oh, Gigi. I think it's Gigi or Gigi. Gigi, I'm assuming. If it's wrong, please correct me and let me know. Says, hello, Cheryl, Kathy, and everyone, and that she is sending Reiki healing energies. Thank you so much. And Tanya says, when I lost my cat, Pacey, it was so hard. I had him for 14 years, and he got sick, and we had to make the hard decision too. I still remember him and tell my kids stories about him. Yeah, that, I had several dogs prior to Max and Brenna, and I had a husky named Rusty, who was kind of like, how you have that one dog that's kind of like your, Kathy calls him the heart dog, and Rusty was that for me. He was a Siberian husky, and my whole life growing up, I'd always wanted a Siberian husky, a full-blooded Siberian husky. We had a mixed husky when I was a kid, and but I really wanted a Siberian husky. And if you've never been around a Siberian husky, they don't chill out till they're about 7 years old, and they love to talk back. So he was a delight, and I miss him. I think about him. I see these, like on TikTok and things, I see these crazy huskies just like howling and going crazy, and I was like, oh my God, that's how my house used to be. And that was just him, and he would just like, if you told him no, that head would go back, and he just did not like to be told no. I mean, he was fun. I really liked him. But every time I think, oh, I would love to have another husky, then we're out somewhere and I see somebody with a husky that is just like giving them a mouthful and is just being difficult and not listening, and I'm like, thank you, universe, for reminding me why I don't need another husky. But he was a delight, and I really, really love him. All right. Lisa says, I've been getting back into working out and hit my goals last week. That's fantastic. I got in a killer stairs hike on Saturday with over 1,000 steps and was feeling my calves this morning. Wow. I bet. I mean, those hikes that you take, like, they're crazy. Like, you put in some distance on those things, but you live in such a beautiful place to do that. And I think that I would be right there with you if I could be. Penny was like, that was me. I cleaned out the fridge. You did a great job. And Lydia says, like John Lennon said, life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. And it's so true. It's so true. You just never know, like, I still am just in a little bit of state of shock, I think, because my life was like, you know what I would be doing right now? Right now, I would be checking out some servers to make sure that everything went live today, and then I would be doing a backup. And I haven't had to do that for 2 weeks. It's kind of weird. Last week was kind of okay because all of you, we got on and we were all talking and everything, and that was great. But then today, it was hard because today I found myself, I went with Kathy to her doctor's appointment. And then we went and ran some errands after that to the grocery store and things. And I kept checking my phone and checking my phone and checking my phone because, that was my lifeline to work. Like, I had everything on my phone. I could basically work from my phone. And I would constantly check my phone to make sure somebody didn't need me or if I was being asked a question. And so I was on 24/7 basically with that phone. And today I couldn't stop looking at my phone, and Kathy was like, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "I'm not talking to anybody." And she's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I keep feeling like I'm going to get in trouble because I'm not keeping up with my work." And she's like, "You don't work for them anymore." And it was like, I know, but I can't stop the muscle memory of constantly pulling my phone out and looking at it. And the feeling, this feeling that I'm doing something wrong because I'm not like engaged in looking at work stuff. And so it's different, and it's kind of hard trying to separate that right now. And I'm sure lots of you understand that. And thank you again, everyone who has reached out to me via email or by direct message in Heartbeat. I really appreciate everybody for your kind words and encouragement. I do finally feel like I've got this. I do finally feel like I'm in the place that I should be. He does not agree right now, but I do feel like I'm in the place that I should be, and I know that I'm just going to get better and better at this, and I am so glad that I will get to spend time with you guys like this all the time without having to constantly check my watch or look at my phone while we're on live, looking at my phone to make sure I'm not missing anything. Like, it's kind of a relief, and there's been a few times, like I said, I've had times when I felt very, very down, where I haven't really I have had some times I didn't want to get out of bed. But then I have these other moments where I'm like, this is kind of like everybody's telling me this is a blessing in disguise. Like, I have to keep reminding myself that I do have freedom now. And so it just makes me really, really happy. Hey, Jenny. Oh, so good to see you. This is my good friend Jenny. You guys have probably heard us talk about Jenny before. Jenny just got married last weekend or the weekend before. I think it was last weekend, actually, that Jenny got married. So congratulations, Jenny. Let's see. Vigana says, the trickle down happens, life goes on, we're here for you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Sherry Ann says, I'm loving the Motivation Monday talks with you, Cheryl. You are doing such a great job. Thank you. I really look forward to this time with you guys because, it's good when you can vent. And I feel like I always get the opportunity to just kind of let my feelings out, and I'm not afraid to let my feelings out with you guys, which is great because we're all family here, right? And Angela says, at Susie, it used to be a serious problem for me. Good news, you can get to the point where it doesn't rule your choices. Be kind to yourself in the process. I think I might have missed a conversation. Tanya was saying my food issue is that I'm the only one in my house wanting to eat healthier, like many other people. But I'm going to do it. It's been an off-the-wagon year, if I'm honest. today's a new day. Today's a good day to start fresh, Tanya. You can do that. I know you can. Everybody gets off the wagon sometimes. It's a great day to just make it your Monday to try it again. All right. Hi, Delia. It's great to have you here. Let's see. Susie W. says she loves the Ninja Creami experience. That's awesome. I actually have a Ninja Creami right here next to me. Imagine that. Actually, right in front of me happens to be book 2 from the Whole Food Plant-Based Ninja Creami Cookbook 2, which is kind of the second edition. This one has instructions for the deluxe, which was not made yet, did not even exist when the Ninja Creami experience was made, but here's a sneak peek. Whoop! There you go. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff from here. Actually, I had a Dole Whip float. Like when we went to Disney, I had a Dole Whip float, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. And so what we did is, you know how Trader Joe's has that 100% pineapple juice in the little cans? So when we were at Trader Joe's, I got a little teeny can of that, and then Kathy whipped up some of the Dole Whip that we had in the freezer, and then I put some of the pineapple juice on it, and I had a little Dole Whip float, and it was delicious. And I highly recommend it to anybody if you're looking for just kind of like a cool, fun, kind of tropical kind of treat. Try Dole Whip float. It's excellent. And it's much better for you than if you had like, you know, the old root beer floats or Coke floats or something like that that uses soda. I think having an actual juice is probably a much better situation. Alrighty. I just kind of go through comments, and like I said, I'm not the best. Let's see. Lisa says, Connor is having the shaking leg too, and I've had to greatly shorten his walks. It's really sad when you have to shorten their walks when they just, you know, want to go. But like I said, this week, I'm just going to let him go as far as he wants to, and I am actually contemplating, and if anybody has any other ideas, of actually, we've got one of those wagons that folds up that you can take like out on the beach and stuff, and I'm thinking like dragging that wagon along in case he just gets too tired and I need to put him in the wagon to bring him back home. I'm not sure how he would feel about riding in a wagon, but I think if he was hurting and he was too tired that maybe he would not argue with me. All right. Yeah, Monique, it was very, very interesting, and it was really awesome to find out what they wanted. And I just really I can't get over how much I really enjoyed that. Because the whole time that Kathy was talking about it and that Claire mentioned it, I was just kind of like, right, whatever. I just don't think this is real, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, there were some things said that could only be what it was. Please don't drink my drink. Okay. And our brat that we didn't know was really a brat, but he is a brat. And he likes it. All right. And Aziara, I think I got it right that time, said, just know that Max may decide to leave all on his own so you don't have to make any final decisions. That is possible. Who knows what this week has in store. But he had a good day today. And so I'm hoping that he'll have a good day tomorrow too. Yesterday was not such a good day, but he did fine after we went for a long walk. He was tired, but he seemed to be pretty good. He's also getting these little episodes where like he sleeps. He's sleeping like 18 to 20 hours a day, and when he wakes up, for a minute It's like he doesn't know where he is for a few minutes, and he kind of does that looking around, where am I kind of thing, and then he kind of looks at me like, do I know you? And then you'll see him kind of sniff, and then he'll be like, okay, I know you. And I think his eyesight is not the greatest, but he is having a little bit of those little episodes where he's not real sure where he's at, kind of thing. Jeremy says it's big kitty time. Yeah, it is. Oh. Jeremy says that Mac should meet Rocky. Our friend Helene has this cat named Rocky, who is a yellow, orange cat like him. But this cat is huge. Like, he's not fat. He's just big. Like, he's tall and long and just, like, big. I think she said he weighs like 17 pounds. But this one looks like a kitten next to him. It's just crazy. But he's a cool cat. Let's see, Susie W. says, we rescued an orange and white cat 2 years ago. He is the chatting pet we have ever known. He was left around our son's neighborhood, and I took him home. We love him so much. Yeah, he sounds fun. Orange cats are their own little special thing. Like, I always see these little, like, memes and stuff where they're talking about what them sharing like one brain cell and passing it around. But this guy, he's smart. He doesn't act goofy. He acts goofy, but I mean in a funny, goofy way. But he's super smart. So I haven't seen him doing any like derpy brain cell things yet, but who knows? Maybe that's to come. Let's see. And Janet says, I am so connected to you guys. Thanks for sharing your lives with us. Love all the encouragement about life and food. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. Chris Brinkman says, love these new Motivation Mondays. Love hearing more from you, Cheryl. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Let's see. Video 1000 Nights would like to know what my favorite starches are in order. Rice, white rice. Wait, let's go. Brown rice, white rice, brown rice. Actually, I would have to say my top favorite rice right now is this rice that Jeremy turned us on to at the Indian store that I don't care what you do to it, it's perfect every time. It's like this long basmati rice, and it's a particular brand, and maybe Jeremy can put it in the comments, but that rice is amazing. I'm a rice person. So I like rice, and rice. I will eat baked potatoes. I like them more as a lunch kind of thing. I don't really like them as a dinner. And corn. I love corn. Corn in all its many aspects. Like, I love to just like, and I think I talked about this last time. I'll throw some corn in the cob in the air fryer and just let it, on air fry for about 10 minutes and then take it out and take some lime on it and just, that's great. I'll have like maybe 2 pieces of that for lunch sometimes. And then maybe with that, I might have a salad or maybe some green beans or something like that. That's one of my favorites. I like to make bowls with rice. And I have a tendency to put corn in a bowl too, and then black beans and things like that, make it kind of a Mexican bowl, and that's kind of really good for me too. And pasta is on my list as well, to be honest. It goes rice, pasta, potatoes. Well, rice, pasta, corn, and potatoes. Kind of that is my order. I'm the starches that I like. I hope that helps. Aziara, I hope you have a great night. Thank you for coming, and I hope that we'll see you again soon. Let's see, Video 1000 Night says, mine are probably potatoes, lentils, beans, sweet potatoes, but a good one is number 1, and grains and rice. Yeah, Kathy's a potato person. Kathy is a potato I think her top is sweet potatoes, because she will pull them out of the refrigerator and just walk around eating a sweet potato right out of the refrigerator. She says they're like cake. I'm like, I don't get that. I don't like them. And I like them, but not in that form. They're too, I don't know, the texture. You know, I'm a texture eater. I don't know, if you don't know, if you haven't heard, I am a super big texture eater, and that is one of the textures that for some reason I just can't get past. I just can't. I do like lentils and beans. I try to eat beans several times a week. Lentils, Kathy usually makes like a lentil soup kind of thing, especially in the fall. We'll be having a lot of that. I think she also, and Jeremy can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really pay attention, I just eat, and she makes dosa batter, like Indian dosas, like you know, the little thin, like almost like crepe things that they put like potato filling in and they roll them up. She uses lentils to make dosa batter for us, and then she'll make it like on a Sunday, and then all week long we'll have dosa batter, and then she'll make the potato stuff so that for lunches we can just have dosas if we want, or for dinner we can have dosas if we want. We eat a lot of Indian food because we do like. All right, let's see. All right, I'm just kind of going through. And Chris says I should make my new muscle memory chatting with all of you, and loves hearing from me. Thank you. And yes, that should be my new muscle memory. I hope that I get to the point that Kathy is, where like I can be sitting there and something will come to my mind and I'll be like, oh, I need to tell everybody about this. And then I just like can turn everything on and go live and just not like, and just randomly do it and not be nervous about it and have to sit here thinking about it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to get there, and I'm excited about that. All right. And Miss Crab says, we are so lucky that all that caring energy is now directed at us. And I appreciate that. Let's see. And Video 1000 Nights says, write a list of all the cool things you did so if you need it in a year or a few years, you will remember it. Oh, that is an excellent, excellent idea. Thank you. That is an excellent idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Janet says, I like you and your thoughts. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate it. Everyone, you're all so kind to me, and I really appreciate that. And I see some people are dropping out for the night because it is getting late. And Vegana says, you definitely feel like family to me. I knew during the holidays last year when y'all did all those long lives and you kept me company being someone who lives alone. And hopefully we're going to do that again this year. We were just talking about, you know, Thanksgiving and stuff, and we really enjoyed that. We enjoyed having Thanksgiving with everyone. And I'd like to do that again. We're also going to, if you're in the Heartbeat community, we are going to, we're going to do a kickoff this week. I can't remember if we're doing it Thursday or Friday. It might be Friday. It'll be in the morning for you guys, kind of probably around 10, 11-ish. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I have to look at my schedule. But we're going to do the movement kickoff for the Heartbeat group. And Karen is going to join us, and she's going to give you all the information about the little contest that we're going to be doing for the month of October, where you earn points that get you miles. And what you're going to do is everyone's going to be going to walking from Durham to Salem. And you're going to earn those miles out, like walking from Durham to Salem. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to be in Salem, And so we're hoping that we can just take you all for a quick tour of Salem and walk around and show you the sights in Salem. And it'll be October in Salem, which is kind of like a big, crazy festival all month long. And so you'll get to see all sorts of crazy stuff. We went last year and we had such a good time. We're also going to Sleepy Hollow on the way there to the Blaze, the Great Pumpkin Blaze, which they have in Sleepy Hollow. We went last year. It was amazing. Everything is made out of pumpkins. Like they have a pumpkin Ferris wheel, and like they do all these, like they just have pumpkins everywhere, and it's so cool. And so hopefully, if we get good signal there, we're gonna like try to live stream some of that for you guys too. So hopefully you'll get to see that and kind of come along with us on some of the parts of our trip. Oh, hello, Chef Yin. It's so good to see you. I hope you guys had a good second half of your trip and got home okay, and everything's going well. And hi to Oz, and love to you both. All right. Raw Chef Yin says, making my breakfast smoothie while watching you. Raw Chef Yin lives in Malaysia, and so it is the morning for Raw Chef Yin. All right. Susie W. says, my 5-year-old grandson loves Kathy's Dole Whip. Who doesn't love Dole Whip? Oh my God. It's just like, I love the pineapple Dole Whip. The first time I ever had it, we were in Disney, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And Kathy was like, I can make that. And I was like, really? And then we got the Ninja, and that was the first thing she did was make Dole Whip. And I was like, woo, we get Dole Whip all the time. And Raw Chef Yin says, we made Vicky's chocolate ice cream from the Ninja Creami ebook too, and Oz loved it. Yeah, Vicky's chocolate is amazing. I love that one. I love chocolate in any of its forms. And yeah, Vicky's chocolate is good. It's so smooth, and the flavor is just spot on. So yeah. So Kathy doesn't like a lot of chocolate, so what we typically do is I'll spin up like a chocolate something for me, and then she'll spin up something else for her, you know, one of her crazy flavored concoctions that I wouldn't touch. And then what we do is we just scoop some out, and we have our little ice cream, and then we put the lids back on, put them in the freezer, and we have them again a couple days later or so. Tanya says, I hate to leave, but I'm up at 5 and need my beauty sleep. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out and being so open, Cheryl. Love to you, Kathy, Max, and Fergus. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. And Monique says, when you are in tune with your pets, they let you know. Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. And Raw Chef Yin says, Oz is a rice person too. Yeah, I love rice. I've always loved rice, even like when I was a kid. I didn't like a lot of things. I was always a picky eater. I was a very plain eater. And my grandparents used to take us to this fancy Chinese restaurant in Toledo. And I think it was called the Surf Club. And I remember it had a floor that had water going through it, like an aquarium. Like you walked over little bridges and stuff to get to your tables and stuff, and they had koi just going all through the floor in these little channels, like everywhere. And I used to love go watch the fish. But when we would order, I would order a bowl of rice with the gravy from Egg Foo Young on it. And that is all I would ever order. And one day the chef came out and he looked a little angry at why somebody ordered rice and gravy. And he came over to the table and he was like, "You just want rice and gravy?" And I said, "Yes." And he was like, "Oh," and he went back in the kitchen. But yeah, that's all I ever would eat there. And I think until I was probably mid-high school when I actually like started eating other things in Chinese food, because I was so picky. I just didn't want anything. It used to frustrate my mom. But when we moved to South Carolina, our neighbors behind us owned a Chinese restaurant, and they had the best fried rice. And so my mom used to always send me over there to get the fried rice. And I kind of got to where I like that. And they kind of helped me see the light on some other nice dishes that I could have that weren't scary. So then I kind of started my love for Chinese food a little bit. And I still like Chinese food a lot, but I think I like Thai food and Vietnamese food better than I do Chinese food. There's something different about the flavors, and Chef Yin might be able to kind of talk about what those flavor profiles, the differences, but I always feel like the sauces for Thai food and Vietnamese food, for the things that I like, which is I like the more like tofu and vegetable dishes. I don't like the heavy creamy curries and things. I'm not a huge fan. I will eat those if it is requested that I share something, but I don't, because of I try to stay away from the heavy coconut milk that they put in those. But I like the lighter, it's just, I can't explain it, but this Thai dish that I get quite frequently, and I'm pretty sure I had it when we were with Raw Chef Yin. It's this very light garlicky, floral sauce. And I'll get tofu and vegetables with that light sauce on it, and I love it. It's delicious, and it's not as heavy. Sometimes when you eat Chinese food, like, to me, feels more oily than these other foods do, and so I try to stick to those a little bit more now. See, Monique says, I carried my dog up and down the stairs for over a year. She still had such life in her eyes. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard because, you look at them and you're like, but you don't look like you feel bad. But then there's something about their eyes, and you look like Max. His eyes just don't look the same when he's having a bad day. They're almost like, I don't know. They're just different. They're not as bright, and he kind of he looks like he's in pain when he looks at you, and that hurts my heart, and I don't want him to suffer through that. Monique says, then one day she looked at me and I knew she was saying she was done. Yeah, Irma, Kathy's cat, I don't think you guys ever got to meet Irma. Irma passed away pre-COVID. I think Irma passed away in like 2017 or 2018. She was almost 20. I think she might have been 20 years old when she passed away. She was She was such a good kitty, and we took her in. She was having issues, and they taught me how to give her fluids intravenously, and so I would do that every day. I would go, okay, come on, we got to give you your fluids. We got to give you your fluids. And then one day, like maybe a couple weeks later, she just was like, bam, didn't want it. And I was like, come on. And I was trying to put it in there, and she'd like yank herself every time I'd get it in and pop it out. And she just looked at me like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to live like this. And so she kind of just told us one Sunday night, she was like, I'm done. I just don't want to do this anymore. And so she made it so obvious, right? And Moxie, I think some of you have met Moxie before Moxie passed. Moxie was going blind. She couldn't hear. Her sense of smell was gone. She had a little bit of kitty Alzheimer's stuff going on. And I feel like I waited too long on that too. But when Fergus came into the house, she kind of had this resurgence of energy that kind of threw us off, because all of a sudden she was like chasing him and launching herself off the stairway and trying to land on top of him and stuff. And so you kind of felt like, okay, maybe she's better now for a while. Well, we got a little while now, but that lasted about 2 weeks, and then she was skin and bones, and it just, oh, it broke my heart. And she, she did the same thing. She just kind of looked at us and was like, let's just make this end. And so it was easier with them. With the dogs, it's been much harder. Brenna was really hard. Brenna had survived 2 rounds of lymphoma. She had a 3rd resurgent, and we just weren't going to put her through chemo and stuff anymore. And then she got a little bit of doggy Alzheimer's stuff going on too. Or it was the medicine or something that she was taking that just made her where, like, she wasn't always there. You could look in her eyes and she wasn't always there. And then a couple hours later, she'd be her normal self. So we waited too long with that too. And so we kind of, after that, we were like, we don't want anybody to be in pain and suffering because they feel like we can't handle life if they're not here. So we wanted to make sure that as much as we got information from Max, we wanted to make sure that Max understood that we loved him and we didn't want him to hurt. And he agreed, so I'm very glad that we did that. And Jennifer says, Cheryl, I am so happy to see you feeling better. I totally agree that you are where you are meant to be. I've had life changes due to others making decisions for me. I ended up stronger than ever. And because I've been so risk averse my whole life, I've never really tried to, I never even thought that I would ever want to be like my own boss kind of thing. And I'm kind of not, like, I'm still kind of working for Kathy if you want to take it that way, but it makes me feel better thinking of it that way. But I am kind of going to be my own boss. I got my own plans for some stuff, and I never thought that I would ever want to be my own boss. It's not, I grew up in a time where people still were like, you get the good job, you stay there till you retire, you get a pension and all that. And then somewhere along the line, I had that mentality because that was kind of what I grew up with. And then things changed, probably, I don't know, it was in the 90s sometime, maybe early 2000s, where, like, I worked for the electric company, and the electric company basically did away with, they weren't doing pensions anymore. And then we were going to all just contribute to the 401k thing and all that kind of stuff. And it was all kind of like, everybody for themselves. The company wasn't really going to, like, carry you anymore kind of thing. But I still, even at that point, I was just like, well, I still want to work for a company. I really was comfortable knowing I had a paycheck coming every week. And so yeah, it's different. I have to think differently now. I have to think like an entrepreneur. But that's not an easy thing for me to do. But I'm learning, and Kathy is teaching me stuff every day. Today I learned how to access the email system and to check things in the email system and how to send out a newsletter. So that was exciting. And now I can help her do that while she is working on other things like the book and things like that. And it'll take some of the pressure off of her, which is something that I truly want to do, because she needs to take it easy sometimes. Although she won't take it easy till this book's done, so I'm not even going to ask her to right now. Let's see. Deborah says, I now take my 15-year-old Boston Terrier for short walks, then put her in a converted baby stroller and finish my walk. She loves it. Going through the same thing you are. She's blind now. It's a sad thing. Yeah, I looked at a baby. They actually at TJ Maxx. It was when we were coming back from Florida. We stopped in Spartanburg. No, not Spartanburg. What's the name of that place? It's before Myrtle Beach. Sumter, might have been I think it's Sumter. Anyhow, it's right on the line, kind of. And we stopped to eat, and there was a TJ Maxx. So, of course, Kathy was like, ooh, TJ Maxx. And then we saw, of course, when you go into a place, you see a TJ Maxx sign and you pull in, pretty much guaranteed there's either going to be a Home Goods, a Marshall's, or a Ross store somewhere in the general vicinity of that as well, which means you're now on the trifecta of stops, not just the single stop. So we were in Home Goods, I think it was, in South Carolina, and they had these strollers that were built for pets, and they had one that would hold up to 75 pounds. And I was like, ooh, this might work. And then when I looked at it, I was like, oh, he would be so uncomfortable. But even though it held 75 pounds, like the spot for him to lay was only like this big. He's much larger than that. You know, he wouldn't be able to stretch out or anything. He would have been able to curl up, but he wouldn't be able to stretch out. And I thought, that's not going to be very comfortable. So I kind of passed on that. But I thought it looked like, and I was like scoping it out, you know, looking at it, and had the big tires on it and everything. And I was like, it looked like one of those jogging strollers. It was big, like a jogging stroller. It was hilarious. But if it had a longer platform, our boy would have had one. But it was just too small. Lydia says, when we had to say goodbye to our cat Charlie last year, we had someone come at home. It was so hard, but I don't regret having it done at home. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that would be so much more comfortable. Thank you. That's something we might want to consider. Thank you. Let's see, Video 1000 Nights has been asking some questions about a rocked gift question. If you guys can take a look at that. He's got friends that are getting married and wondered if it would be a good gift. All right. Kathy says, Cheryl, you're doing an awesome job. Your voice is so calming. It's easy to listen to. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gina, thank you for telling everybody to give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And Vegana also finds my voice to be super soothing. I had a friend when I was in my 20s that was a radio DJ, and she always used to tell me that I should do like a radio show kind of thing. And I was like, no, that's just not my thing. And then I kind of like, she did like the third shift radio show thing, and I worked third shift at a hotel, and I would listen to her show, and we were so bad, like, because third shift hardly anybody ever called into the radio station, but she always had like tickets to concerts and stuff to give away, and so like she would call me and she'd be like, I'm gonna give away some tickets in like the next 30 minutes. So if you hear the ticket thing go, just call me. And I was like, okay. And I was always winning concert tickets and stuff because nobody ever called her. It was the middle of the night. It was hilarious. Let's see. Video 1000 Nights. Jennifer says yes to the fancy rock. It is a great idea. And Penny says, since I did the fridge last week, my objective this week is some batch cooking and getting lots of greens in the fridge to use. And I think that's an excellent idea. And I have actually been craving greens. And I had actually greens today for breakfast, actually, which is a weird thing for me. But I had toast, and it had avocados, some avocado spread on it, which I don't usually do because avocado kind of can derail my weight loss a little bit, but I wanted something kind of comforty, but I didn't want to go off the rails, and so I did the toast with the avocado, and it was just, you know, one of those small pieces like this, and I had a little avocado. I didn't even use a whole avocado, right? And then I had like a little like salad with some some spinach, and what's the peppery one? I always forget that one. Anyhow, it looks like you've shucked a tree and put it on a plate. That one, yeah. Arugula. That's it. Arugula. I always think it looks like you shucked a tree and just threw it on a plate. And so I had that for my breakfast. It was very tasty, and I enjoyed it, and I think I might have the same thing tomorrow. And that will be very helpful for me because it keeps me going in the right direction, but still makes me feel like I'm kind of having a little extra. So that is my intention for tomorrow. And also, in other news, Katya, our friend who is the deadlifter, who you've all met most likely on Kathy's channel, actually brought over a dorm refrigerator, but it's one of those tall dorm refrigerators that has the freezer thing. So now we have a little extra space downstairs so that when Kathy does a class, we don't have to get rid of everything in our refrigerator for her to have room for the class stuff. Now we can actually put this stuff in the little refrigerator downstairs until people can come get it that we're sharing it out with. So I'm very excited for that because, man, that freezer, every time we have a class, like everything has to come out of there. And a lot of times, if it's stuff that, it's not ready to be gotten rid of yet, I have coolers all over the place with ice in them with stuff in it from the refrigerator. So then we have to put everything back in the refrigerator and everything. It's a major ordeal, like doing classes sometimes. Sometimes it's not bad at all, but like mushroom class and then this Korean class. I was not here for the Korean class. I missed that. I was actually having lunch with one of my coworkers who also was laid off. And it was very good to connect, and I hope that I gave her some comfort as well because she was having a little bit of a rough time. So, yeah, we all work together and we all get better together. And Gina says, Cheryl has such a calm demeanor, very soothing. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. And Penny says, you are so kind to us. We love you. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. And Video 1000 Night says, I like white potatoes more than sweet, but the purple ones are super good. Yeah, I think that's the ones that Kathy walks around. She says taste like cake, the purple ones. I like white potatoes with mustard because if I do the mustard, then it kind of reminds me of potato salad, and it's kind of good. And sometimes I've even put a little chopped up pickles on there too and kind of mix that in, and it really tastes like potato salad then. And Tanya, who was supposed to be gone a long time ago, says, oh my God, I'm still here and pulling a Kathy listening in bed. No, you need to go to bed. Turn it off. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. Yep, everybody's going to bed. And Rosh Fien says, this is a great time for alive for me because we are awake. That's right. Usually whenever we're alive, you are sleeping. Let's see. And Miriam's saying, is that when all the tree foliage changes color? Yes, the fall here is when the tree foliage changes color and it becomes beautiful. And also when we do the Salem thing and we're driving up to Massachusetts, it's probably going to be like prime leaf peeping time. So hopefully we can get you guys some good video or pictures of that as well. Video 1000 Nights says, let's pull an all-nighter, get the green tea brewing. That's funny. Angela says, blessings to all. Vigana is heading to bed. JT agrees with Vietnamese and Thai. Mirren said, one of my favorite meals growing up was rice and mince meat. I don't know if you have a different name for the mince. I'm not sure. I would have to ask Kathy about that because I'm not as, she knows how to translate all that kind of stuff. And yeah, Video 1000 Nights says, Mira, now you can do rice and tofu, which is my favorite. And I actually ate tofu before I was a vegan because I kind of liked the way that it would kind of take on whatever flavor you wanted it to. And Mirren says, I was surprised to see you are on still. First time I am able to join a live when I wake up. That's fantastic. And I'm going to do some stuff at different times. I do apologize for being so late today with this. But like I said, we had a big morning, and I wanted to make sure that I still got time in with you guys once we got everything settled here at the house. And there may be some different times over the next few times we meet. We'll have to see. I'm trying to figure out when that sweet spot is for everybody. And so if you have some feedback on that, please let me know at support@healthyslowcooking.com, and that will help me, kind of prepare when we can do stuff. Let's see. And Mirren says, at Video 1000 Nights, I can try. I don't know how to prepare tofu or even where to find it. Well, you are in the right place because we have some folks here that can help you with the tofu. If you tell me what country you're in, I can find out from Kathy. If you can email me at support@healthyslowcooking.com and just tell me what country you're in, and we might be able to try to help you where you could find tofu at where you are. And Video 1000 Nights says, if you prefer Vietnamese and Thai over Chinese, it means you like limes. My guess overly simplified, but you're probably right, because I really do like limes a lot. All right. Rashif Yen said, I never thought I'd be my own boss when I was working in corporate for 15 years, but now after 8 years of working for myself, I'm so glad for the freedom, and I hope you enjoy the journey too. I am, I still have my ups and downs, but I am really looking forward to having some sense of freedom. It's a weird feeling. But then it's also kind of a good feeling. And Lisa says, you have the right work ethic to be very successful as an entrepreneur, Cheryl. And I appreciate that. Thank you. I still don't think my brain works the right way for it, but it's getting there. I'm learning every day. All right. And Mirren says that I'm not in the U.S. We don't have Walmart, Costco, or any of those shops you all talk about. Extra firm tofu, ? Also can't find tempeh. Wow. All right. Somebody's saying funny jokes. Video 1000 Nights says, what is the difference between a vegan and a computer administrator? One is disgusted by a rack of lamb and the other is disgusted by a lack of RAM. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Mirren is in Western Australia. Okay. I feel like in Australia there's got to be some place where you can get tofu. Let me think on that. But I feel, are you kind of in the isolated area, like in the country part, or are you closer to any kind of cities or anything like that? That might help too. Marie is saying, what did I miss? Is Max okay? Max is he's 13 and a half. He is having lots of issues with his legs, and he is having more bad days than good days. We have a little bit of confusion, some not eating. And so we actually are making plans for Max to go over the Rainbow Bridge. And we talked earlier about the fact that we actually had a animal communicator work with us today to help us communicate with Max to find out what he wanted. And so we're having the week of Max, and he's getting whatever he wanted. Let's see. Let's see. And Maria's saying, I take my dog to a holistic vet, and she gets acupuncture and laser. She couldn't walk before. Now she's so much better. She's 15. There's so much you can do for your pets. That's something we can talk about. But I don't want him to be in so much pain. He's in a lot of pain, and he's been on pain meds now for about 3 or 4 months. So, but that is something that we might think about. We have actually thought about taking him to a doggy chiropractor, but he has some, I'm just going to say it, like, he has enough pain that if you try to move him a certain way or he gets a certain way, he can get very bitey because he hurts. And, you know, I don't want him to be in that kind of pain, like where he has to howl and then just kind of go because he hurts so bad. And I just, it breaks my heart. It really does break my heart to see him like that. But we are looking at a few things, and if you want to email me at support@healthyslowcooking.com, I don't remember ever seeing any other emails from you, but do to support@healthyslowcooking.com, and I will make sure that I watch for that, okay? And I appreciate any information you have. Let's see. Arugula, which we call rocket, has that peppery taste, but I have trouble with it. I like pepper, so I don't get why I can't handle the rocket. And that's Mirren from Australia. And I am not a huge fan of pepper, as you all know. I think it's spicy. And it's one of the things that doesn't really bother me that bad that it's got a peppery taste. All right. And Deborah says, I live with a meat eater and I have a mini fridge just for my food, no meat allowed. I love my mini fridge. Yeah, I am looking forward to having this. This is going to be great. Let's see, and Lydia says, is minced meat ground beef? Oh, I wonder if you're right. That does sound like ground beef. And Mirren says, thanks. It's one of the things I miss about autumn in Canberra, Australia. They had lots of trees that turned colors. Yeah, I love fall. It's so beautiful. And I am really hoping when we go to Massachusetts that it's prime leaf time, because we're going to be hitting some mountainy kind of hilly areas, up towards Pennsylvania and stuff. And go in that direction. It's going to be beautiful, and we're going to take pictures because it's going to be gorgeous up there. And Candy says, we lived in Indonesia and got used to eating tofu and tempeh, even though we weren't vegan. We moved back to Canada, and it was very difficult to find, so I'm glad that it is now easy to find here. Yeah, it's getting easier and easier. Actually, I saw some at, we don't go to Walmart a lot. Kathy goes to Walmart when she's looking for that certain can of pineapple stuff that's always usually inexpensive there. But I noticed that they have tofu and tempeh and stuff like that now that when I went to Walmart all the time, like I lived in a town where that's all we had was in Walmart, and they never had anything like that. They barely had any, like, they called the ethnics, they had a sign that said ethnic foods, and it was like one shelf with some Hispanic foods on the top and some Chinese foods at the bottom, and that was it. And now, like, they have so much stuff. It's really great that people in some rural areas can now get some of that stuff. And Deborah says, there are many recipes for mincemeat. Some have beef suet, most don't. Okay, so you guys, yeah. So it sounds like when she was talking about the rice and mince, that it was a beefy kind of dish. And Lydia says, at Candy, I also live in Canada. I'm in Montreal, and I'm so glad we have tempeh and tofu everywhere. Yeah. And Candy says, there are so many Indonesians in Australia, I'm surprised there isn't tofu and tempeh. And Rosh Yen says, at Mirren, is there an Asian market near you? They should have tofu. And she says, Mirren, I am in a rural area, 45 minutes to the nearest decent-sized town that has Kohl's and Woolworths or Asian markets, etc. Okay, that makes sense. And Kathy says, at Mirren, if you can get soybeans, you can make your own tofu. You can Google recipes. You can even use lemon juice to curdle it. And I believe Kathy may have I know she did a tempeh class where she made tempeh out of some different things. So it's not that hard to do really at all. And she made like several different kinds, and I think we had a chickpea one and then something else, but I like the chickpea one a lot. Jill says, hi Cheryl, glad I saw you live. Sorry to hear about Sweet Max. Candy Gills in Toronto. Let's see. Although, am I getting close? I'm trying to catch up on everything. All right. I just want to make sure I catch everybody's stuff. Mirren says, I think the problem with me finding tofu and tempeh is that I don't know what I'm looking for, so I don't know where to start looking. I asked at my local store, and they didn't have it. Okay. And Linda says, there's a 100% vegan grocery store in Perth, Western Australia, both in-store and online, called La Vida. Oh, great information, Linda. Thank you. And Jill D says, mincemeat is a mixture of chopped dried fruit, distilled spirits, and spices. Interesting. Nice. And Lydia was asking, Mirren, is there a refrigerated vegan section at your grocery store? So thank you, everyone, for reaching out to Mirren and helping her to see if she can find tofu and tempeh in her area. I think I've kind of caught up on the comments. I want to kind of recap about resetting. Everybody's heard about all my problems today, everything going on for the past week and the stress and all that good stuff, but it will get better. And, you know, I was thinking the other day about this, and I had this moment that came to my head where I was like, what if this extra weight that I carry, that I've been carrying for, I don't know, 17 and a half years? See where I'm going with that? What if the extra weight that I've put on over the past 17 and a half years was due to all the stress from my job? That was due to all the long hours, the weekends and the holidays and the vacations. What if all of that helped add to this? and helped add to my negative health that I was having. So if I take that out and I work towards these goals of staying away from the heavily processed foods and processed junk, staying away from oil 90 to 95% of the time, eating good solid whole food things like rice and potatoes and vegetables and greens, having the ability to have a schedule that fits my life and not somebody else's. What if all of that combined is the key to my better health? Getting rid of that source of that stress, even though it's put a little extra stress on me right now, I really feel like when I think back about it, when I started gaining a lot of weight, 17 and a half years ago is when it got really bad. And, before that, I was up and down, but I really wasn't almost 300 pounds then. I didn't get to almost 300 pounds until, 2017, 2018. It took time for me to get there. And I know it's going to take time for me to go away. And, I feel like I've got a big chunk of that out of the way, but I still have more to go. And I just thought to myself, what if losing that job was the thing that actually just propels me into such a better place in my life that everything can just fall into place for me, and I can work on my health and not feel bad about that, not feel guilty because I'm not putting my time at a meeting, or, because I can't walk on a treadmill while I'm in a meeting because it might offend somebody. Like, who thinks like that? But anyhow, that was my reality, and all that's gone now. And I really want to take this time, and I know I keep using the word reset, but I think it's really, really important that we look at things in tiny little bite-sized things. Because if we can look at things in little tiny bite-sized pieces, it's much easier to tackle. And so I am going to, use that bite-sized method to tackle eating better, staying away from the junk, getting my exercise in, all those things that just I didn't have the luxury of being able to do on my own terms. And now I can do them on my own terms. And so I challenge all of you this week to pick something that's a little difficult. Pick something that you're having trouble with. What's something that you keep finding yourself going to that you shouldn't, that when you do it, you tell yourself immediately, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or what makes you feel like, oh, I'm such a bad person because I just put that in my mouth? What's one thing that does that makes you feel that way? And this week, try to change your relationship with it. Just a little bit. You don't have to change your relationship with it completely. Change your relationship for a day, or maybe 2. And see how that feels, and set with it a little bit. And then if it feels okay, keep on doing it. And if it don't feel amazing to you, if it's, you're just like banging your head going, I just can't, then stop. Don't make yourself crazy. And then let's try again next Monday. taking those little bite-sized pieces again and making that step. And I hope that our conversations are helpful for everyone. I know that they're super helpful for me, and I really, really appreciate all of you again, and for reaching out to me and just, lifting me up when I was really, really down. And there's been ups and downs this past week. There's been a few times I've been really, really down. This past weekend I was not in a good place. And I let some people know, and they all reached out and they made me feel better. And I appreciate that. Lisa says, it's likely the late nights and crazy sleep schedule with your job didn't help with your health, so now you can change that to get the health you want. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm going to take it in bite-sized little pieces. And this week, I am going to change my relationship, first and foremost, with getting okay with not having that job. And second of all, you mentioned in the sleep schedule, I think I could really benefit for, trying to make sure that I get at least 8 hours every night this week. Because I've been having some nights where I've only been having maybe 4 hours sleep. Or I go to sleep fine and then I wake up 3 hours later and then I can't go to sleep for another 3 hours because my mind is just going and going and going and I can't turn it off. And so I'm going to focus on that sleep this week too and see where we get. But find that one thing that's making you crazy, and take little chunks out of it. Do a day. How'd you do that day? Sit with it, see how you feel. Do another day, sit with it, see how you feel. And see if you can't just make that happen all week long. And like I said, if you can't, it's okay. Because then we're going to just start all over again on Monday and start fresh. And pick up where we left off. And every time we do that, it's going to get easier and easier, and you're going to get further and further in that week until you can just do it without thinking about it, where it's just a natural thing. It's just muscle memory. All right, everyone. I have kept you way too long. I was only going to go on for an hour. Let's see. Just make sure I got everybody. Jill says, instead of having to focus on a job, you get to focus on yourself and put your passion into you. Exactly. And that's what I'm starting to see. And Linda says, Cheryl, I'm glad you're seeing a silver lining to these life events. Lydia says, thanks for the great conversation, Cheryl. I have to go to bed. Good night. Linda says, great Monday meeting. Thank you. Crystal says, they're more motivational than you know. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Video 1000 Nights says, yeah, it's cortisol. Remember to say my motto is F it for 1 month, focus on yourself. Yeah, I do need to focus on myself. I know that, and my go-to is always to try to help everybody else and to focus on them and to focus my time into everybody else. But yeah, I need to focus on me a little bit and give me that same respect that I give everyone else and that time that I give everyone else. And Jill D says, mine is processed foods, so thank you for this conversation. Tomorrow is trash day, so I will let go of those processed food items. I can think of 3 to put in the trash. That's awesome, Jill. And I put some stuff in the trash today, too, just so you know. And it was hard because I was like, oh, well, I spent money on that. But then I was like, I don't need that. I don't need that because that is not helping me. It's not really it gives me 5 minutes of comfort and a dopamine hit. And that's it. It's not helping my health. It's not helping my mood really at all. So, into the trash. And I'll be perfectly honest. Oreos. Yeah, they're vegan. But they are not good for me. And so, into the trash they went. And I'm happy that they went into the trash because I know I don't need them this week. I don't need them at all. And so I'm just going to get through this week with other things like my cotton candy grapes in place of them. And I think in fact, I know I can do that one for sure because those cotton candy grapes, oh my God, they're so good. All right. And Lisa says, it's been enjoyable spending my Monday evening with you. Thank you, Cheryl. Same to you, Lisa. I will talk to you soon. I really, really, again, appreciate you and Jennifer and Gina and everybody in the group for having my back when I wasn't sure if I could have my own. So I appreciate that. All right, everybody, it is after 11 o'clock. The cat is telling me to turn off the lights. He is ready to go to bed. And so with that, I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. I hope you have a great week. Feel free to reach out to me at support@healthyslowcooking.com, and I will respond to you. So see you next Monday. Bye.